me a god. You call me a god. You call me a god. You call me a god.
Let's go. I'm about to go off like a weapon. Fuel to the top, got a filled up engine. In my thoughts, obsession. I will not stop, no, I'm never second guessing. I got a God complex. Haters love to hate, but
hello, folks. Richard Moore, USAGSA. I'll talk a little bit about tracking and surveillance as it pertains to those that are illegally targeted. And I want to emphasize illegally, the illegal element of this targeting. As if there were some sort of legal targeting. I don't believe that there is. But before I jump into it, in the description of this video is our link tree. And that link tree will give you some of the links to the other platforms that we're on, and including my Substack, where I've written extensively about these programs, their tactics, and who's behind it. And I've also given voice to the voiceless, and told the stories of others that, for all practical purposes, have been rendered voiceless. We're 100% supported by our listeners, viewers, and followers. And folks, without your support, we can't do what we're doing. I'm here today because this is something that I'm supposed to be doing, and those devoted followers that I'm forever grateful to, that have remained true blue to USAGSA through all the ups and downs and the relentless attacks that have come against myself in order to shut me up, shut me down, and get rid of this narrative of corruption, of exposing this corruption. And so the ways you can support USAGSA, that's in there: Chime, Cash App, Donor Box, GoFundMe. You can take a stand with USAGSA by becoming a patron on Patreon and get everything there first. We also have a lot of members only content, especially with our snitches and rats. And you have full access to all that. And that is how we subsidize what's going on here. And speaking of snitches and rats, folks, this is this program that we talk about, community policing, is all based and built upon a snitch culture. See something, say something. And that line has never been drawn as seeing what and saying what. Now, they're all in on this deal. One would think that when you talk about the sheriff of the different counties, like Knoxville County, Clay County, where they repeatedly raped inmates, at the New York Times exposed this, wrote about it, and the sheriff of Knoxville County, Grassery, was finally charged and convicted in a federal court for civil rights violations, and he served 24 hours in prison. Sheriff Eddie Scott, on the other hand, have absolutely experienced no repercussions for his actions and the rape and so forth of some of the women I've already talked about there in Clay County. It's business as usual, ladies and gentlemen. Business as usual and not just in the state of Mississippi, but across this nation. In the state of Mississippi, we've got an attorney general that has been real clear. At one, that this is Lynn Fitch, as far as standing up and protecting its citizens against civil rights abuses, civil rights abuse by criminals with badges, and constitutional rights violations. They're not interested in even talking about it, much less looking at any evidence or hearing anything. Now, this is not something I think, it's something that I know. And it came straight from her office to me. And they made it real clear that's their position. And I have no doubt that remains their position. So the high sheriff can do anything he wants to do. And essentially is not being held accountable, and they're not held accountable. So if you've got a rogue law enforcement officer doing the bidding for Satan himself, and you've got bodies in his wake and everything else, don't you think that that's something that the citizens need to know about? I do, and that's what we do here. Over and close to, we don't know the real number, but a conservative figure is 8 million Americans annually are targeted for destruction. And they told us that COINTELPRO ended. Well, they lied. This new face, this old horn in a new dress, is simply pegged as community-oriented policing. Now, make no mistake about it. It's they make it very difficult to put your finger on who's doing what. I wonder why. They'll cry foul and say, well, what we're doing is legal. If it wasn't legal, we wouldn't be doing it. And so exactly what are you doing? You'll never get the truth. You have a dynamic of several entities involved in community-oriented policing. The COPS program has spent hundreds of billions of dollars since its inception. And this money, for the better part, is used, and was used, and has been used, and it continues to be used to target American citizens, to violate their civil and constitutional rights, to skirt due process. This is a program, once they put you on a list, you're guilty, and innocence, or ever being innocent, or anything got anything to do with it. Folks, this is the definition of tyranny at its best. And this tyrannical view of community policing, and these people that participate in it are not part of we the people. These people are in fact enemies of the state. They could care less about murder and rape or anything, especially when it comes to those in positions of trust and authority, like law enforcement and elected officials, prosecutors, and judges, like the one we just covered with the Chancery Court Judge Stephen T. Bailey in Lee County, Mississippi, that just completely rejected a 77-year-old's plea for a writ of habeas corpus to have emergency medical assistance. That's the man that had a stroke while incarcerated, he still is. And he spent 11 pages of why they were going to dismiss that. Didn't cite any laws, just his opinion, all harebrained opinions in ways that he didn't want to hear it. you would think that these people that claim that they're targeting someone and fill in the blanks, that somehow justifies that. These are the criminals with a mob mentality that I don't expect anytime soon to slow their roll. And I want them to understand this, that there's plenty of people just like myself that absolutely are not going to slow their roll. So through the last 4 or 5 years, folks, this is what I wanted to bring to you. I've heard everything under the sun, especially from these shield groups that purport to be groups for those that are targeted, and their support groups or whatever the hell you want to call them. And the majority of them are simply shields for this program. FBI shields that their primary purpose is to capture these targeted individuals that happen to be trying to figure out what's going on. They got them and brought them into one of these rabbit holes, and they're in that rabbit hole forever. So, is it possible that that when a person becomes targeted, that somehow that they can be tracked, monitored? I mean, inside their home, their movement, whether they're asleep or awake, what they're saying, what they're wearing, where they're going, and are they tracked, and is it possible, and how are they doing it? That's where we have the broad brush that this deal has been all over the board. Well, I'm here to tell you, folks, that everything is, all those things are on the table. And what targeted individuals have had an issue with coming to grips with is they want to spend a lot of time trying to figure things out. It's Operation Chaos, ladies and gentlemen. It's designed not to be figured out. It's purposely designed as an unsolvable equation. Now, how do you solve an unsolvable equation? Well, it's an unsolvable equation that you know that there's criminality behind it. If that is the equation, who are the criminals? Well, we'll start with the chief law enforcement officer of your county and city. We'll start with the sheriff, police chief, fire captain, but throw in the president of the Rotarians or rotisseries or whatever, and throw them into the light. But your chief law enforcement officers and your fire captain, those are your all are culpable in crimes against humanity. I can't be more clear than that. Now, that may be a tall order for some of you, but you just hold on here in the coming days and weeks as I simply lay out some damning evidence, some chilling evidence that not conjecture, not a conspiracy. It is absolute hard facts on exactly how this is being done. And folks, if you know, you say, "Well, I know they're watching me," but they have yet to produce these hidden cameras and so forth. Some people have. And some say, "Well, it's your phone, it's your this, it's that." Well, folks, let me tell you, it's a lot of things. But chances are it's not how most people think that it is. It's happening, but the process and exactly how it's happening and how that comes into play, I'm going to lay these things out. So I just wanted to kind of let folks know. I've had some people that say, I heard from you a couple of days. I thought you was dead or even worse. And so, folks, when I'm not on here talking, you can believe one thing. I'm not sitting on a sandy beach somewhere sipping on a pina colada. I'm doing what has to be done in order to do what we're doing here. Okay. I'm going to lay it out for you for those that have had ideas that didn't know exactly what the deal is with the drones and what the deal is with they seem to be your every conversation, your computers, it's everywhere. In other words, you've got it's coming from every angle, and you have all these theories. Hopefully, I'll put all these things to rest, folks, and make it real clear. And not only make it real clear for you, we're going to talk about doing a proper process of collecting evidence, forensics, and documentation, the tools you need, what to look for, what it looks like, who's behind it, and why. The big thing is why they, and when I talk about they, we're talking about community-oriented policing, your sheriff, your chief, and that gaggle of pathetics in your neighborhood that are involved in this Operation Project Safe Neighborhood, Neighborhood Watch, and all this other BS that they espouse. At the end of the day, folks, you've got a clutch of perverts, fake Christians, every kind of bozo you can name that participate in this deal. And folks, that's the epitome of a born loser. And what these losers and followers, they just follow whatever else is going on. If it sounds good, then they run with it because they are convinced that whatever they're doing is right, and that they're stalking and harassing and attempting to terrorize a real bad person, and that they could care less if that person's innocent or guilty. That has nothing to do with it, folks. They don't care. They'll tell you they want to protect the children. They give a shit about the children. They're the first ones to push the other ones, the rats and stuff, in these fake rehabs and fake churches, and run as fake. And we've talked about this and why people would bring in we got witchcraft issues, we got Satanism, and folks, let me tell you. Evil is evil. All those things I just mentioned fall under that umbrella, okay? But it goes back to the person running the deal, your sheriff and chief of police, okay? So let's keep things simple. Let's get all over the board and worry about the roll call and what these particular people are, what their real job is. And their hang-ups and they're the true criminals. And this is the face of evil, folks. This is the face of it. If we wasn't warned about all this in the Bible, and the scriptures tell us that in the last days would be tossed and to and fro by every wind of doctrine. What does that mean? But these new deals popping up, and cool preachers with flip-flops and T-shirts and Jesus was cool and all this other BS, and I'm here to tell you that is not the deal. God is the same yesterday and today and forever. That doesn't change. That's not an evolving deal. That's not an upgraded a deal that's been modernized or anything else. It's been prostituted by these fake orgasmic community policing mobs. And our job here is to call these people out by name, where they are and what they're doing. We'll keep doing that. They hate the First Amendment. They hate the Constitution. They hate God. And they hate this country. Not based on what they say. It's based on what they do. And actions, ladies and gentlemen, speak louder than words. So that's your update for Friday. Hope everybody has a good weekend. And just stay tuned. I assure you, I'm gonna bring you something. I'm gonna put something on the table that I don't believe, in my opinion, has been put on the table, and not like it needs to be. And that's what is that's what's going on right now. So I welcome your comments down there below. My contact information is in the description of the video. Until next time, God bless you.
Ain't no motherfucker in this world could do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself, in my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you wanna taste, bitch, you can fucking try me. If you wanna hate, bitch, you know where to find me. And if you go and hate this, you can fucking bite me. I'll be cruising in my lane fast, call it high speed. I've been working hard, yeah, I've been working nightly. If you think you'll win, ha, not fucking likely. I be taking shots, yeah, cold-blooded, icy.